Hello and welcome to Unfrazzle with me, Louise Miller. If you're a solo business owner and you have a big, exciting vision and loads of ideas that you want to get out in the world, but without drowning in a sea of overwhelm, then this is the podcast for you. Each week I'll be sharing bite-sized insights to help you stop faffing and stay focused so you can make your brilliant ideas happen and make a bigger impact in the world. It's time to step away from the hustle and find a kinder, more sustainable approach to productivity. So grab yourself a cuppa and let's get started. So I'm back with another Make It Happen Club takeover episode of Unfrazzle, where I'm shining a spotlight on members doing brilliant work in the world. And today I'm chatting with Melina Abbott. Melina is a sales coach and author of Sacred Selling, and she talks about the importance of both the practical steps and the inner work when it comes to selling. We have a really interesting conversation around that, and she also shares 3 of her proudest moments in her business. If sales feel heavy and hard for you right now, please do go and connect with Melina. I will pop the links in the show notes. So it would be remiss of me on this episode in particular not to remind you that the doors to Make It Happen Club are open right now and will close on the 14th of June. So head over to the link in the show notes if you're ready to find out more. I would love for you to join us. So enjoy this conversation with Melina. So I am delighted for today's episode of the Make It Happen Club takeover on Unfrazzle to be joined by the wonderful Melina Abbott, who has been a member of Make It Happen Club for almost a year. It's about 11 and a half months. And I am so delighted that I get to shine a bit of a spotlight on Melina and her fabulous work, because I know it's going to resonate for a lot of people. So welcome, Melina.
Oh, thank you, Louise. I'm excited to be here. It's really lovely to spend this time with you.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. So let's get the most important question out of the way first. Chocolate or crisps?
Chocolate, of course.
Correct. That is the right answer.
Who would have crisps? Anyway, yes, definitely. I've got a very sweet tooth.
Oh, that's interesting. You see, I like the darker the better. I'm quite happy with a 100% chocolate cocoa chocolate bar, but that probably wouldn't do it for you then, would it, if you've got the sweet?
My favourite is the vegan Lindt salted caramel at the moment, made with oat milk, because I can't eat dairy. But yes.
That sounds very good. Bit of salty in there. Lovely. Right, now that most important thing is dealt with, do you want to just tell all the wonderful listeners a little bit about what you do?
Yes, so I am the author of Sacred Selling, which is the book that I like to keep prominent. For those listening, it's a book that blends the nuts and bolts of sacred selling with the spiritual transformation and the inner work that we do. I've been in business for nearly 20 years, and at the beginning it was very practical, very much do this, do that, like there's the steps to selling. I dealt with overcoming objections and different things, and people would go out and get clients as a result, which is always what we want. But it didn't factor in the inner journey, the, oh my goodness, being afraid to pick up the phone. So I blended the two together and created Sacred Selling, so that it's a mixture of taking those practical step-by-step actions along with acknowledging the fears that come out, especially with selling.
Yeah. And I just think that is absolutely brilliant, because you can't have one without the other, can you? You can know all of the practical steps, but we all know mindset is always there, whether it's good or bad. We all have a mindset, good or bad. And if we've got something that's getting in the way, we're not going to be able to take those practical steps. So the fact that you're supporting people in both of those areas, and similarly, I don't know whether you see this, there are people I've come across who spend so much time trying to get their mindset right. I don't want to say good, bad, right, wrong, because that's not the right language, but you know what I mean, trying to work on their mindset, but they never take the practical steps, never do the doing.
That's especially with people dealing in transformation, which is who I help a lot. They want to help people, they want to change the world. They are the worst, again, is that wrong language. But taking those practical steps, and you can't get anywhere. It's like you use the practical steps to inform the patterns that play out, and vice versa. So it's like this brilliant dance or journey that I like to bring fun into it as well, because we can take life too seriously, especially when we're dealing with a lot of like either trauma or challenging things. So bring
Oh yeah.
lightheartedness to it, which makes it easier, laugh at ourselves a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need a bit more levity, don't we? I think I 100% agree. And I think you've already touched on this a little bit, but I'd love to know, why is this work so important to you?
For two reasons. One, it's fun for me to do. There's something about the whole marketing and lead generation and bringing people on board that you can really infuse your personality and things you like to do. You do not have to do stuff that doesn't resonate or that you don't like to do. And two, a lot of people struggle with it. They find it difficult. And it's so rewarding to know that you kind of like take a weight off. People have often said, I feel like a weight has been lifted. And that, I love it when they go out and say, guess what happened here? And whether it's like those practical, tangible results, like they made 10K or 20K or whatever it is, or 5K, or it's I got like 100, I got like a new sign up to my book or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's that feeling of success that comes with it that just
Yeah.
really lights me up.
Yeah, and sometimes that success also is just from, I don't mean just from, because that makes it sound like it's not a big thing, but the taking action regardless of the outcome. Sometimes that we should be celebrating that as well in my book, because it takes guts and courage to put yourself out there in that way.
I've actually spent a lifetime trying to let go of the results being the be all and end all, and it's actually that journey and you're taking action, aligned action, that makes all the difference, and celebrating that, because the results just they will follow. They will follow in some shape or form, even if it's to inform you that actually you need to take this direction rather than a different direction.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk to you about this all day, Melina. It's so fascinating. There's so much we could talk about, but I want to try and keep these episodes short for our wonderful listeners who are used to little bite-sized nuggets. But you can expand on some things a little bit more, because I also want to know what your proudest moment has been in your business so far.
I really struggle with like one thing, and I have three. Is that allowed?
I'll let you have three. Come on.
The first was getting my first client. And because I was working full time, my son was 2 at the time, and I just followed the steps. Like I literally followed the steps that I teach and was taught, and took my first client on board. And yeah, that was a proud moment. Publishing my book was another proud moment, of course. Like it's like I'm a published author, and hitting 6 figures, even though that was like also a catalyst for me on my journey. It made me show that it isn't about the results. It was also nice to know, oh, I did it.
Yeah, yeah. That's all so incredible, isn't it? And that very first was the first one that you shared about, that first client that you sign, and that the feeling that comes with that, I can actually do this.
Yes,
This can work.
yeah. And it gave me the confidence to then leave my job. And I negotiated working part-time and everything that followed on.
Yeah.
And it's a case of any time we get stuck, it's simply going back to those really basic steps.
Yeah, because we can tie ourselves in knots, can't we? Overcomplicating things, trying to fix things that aren't broken, all of that kind of stuff. So having you there to help people go back to basics, keep it simple, and all of that good stuff.
Yes,
Yeah,
over
awesome.
and over. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So, how has Make It Happen Club helped you in your business since you've been a member?
It's how's it? I I struggle to get things done. So it's been a challenge for me to actually take action on what I say I'm going to. So help Make It Happen Club kind of guides me back to the things that are important each and every month. And you have some really practical tools that have been game changers for me. That's been like those little recommendations that you may not think much of. It's like, oh, this has made such a huge difference. So I'm way further forward. I remember the first month I signed up, it's like I wrote my list, didn't really look at it. But when I was reviewing it the following month, I ticked everything off. It's like, whoa, I can get stuff done. So yeah, I
Oh,
love it. And I love that kind
oh,
of going back every month.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And it feels like there's a real parallel there, isn't there? Because that first month of you realizing you'd done more than you realized, it's that confidence again that we were talking about a moment in what you're doing. The realization that you can do the thing you didn't think you could do. And then what that means for you moving forward. Now you've got a little bit more belief in yourself. It's really powerful stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's taking the steps. It's very aligned with the Make It Happen Club, and I have a Sacred Selling Club that's all about taking the steps when it comes to sales and marketing.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's very similar.
Match made in heaven. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people listening to this are curious to learn more about you and what you do, where should they go? Where can they come to find out more?
They can go to my website, which is www.melinaabbott.com, or you Google Melina Abbott, you will find me everywhere. Or if you want to read my book, you can go to Amazon or any online bookstore and buy it.
Amazing. And I will pop links to all of those things in the show notes. So thank you, Melina, for being here. I have loved our conversation. As I say, we could have talked for ages, but I will pop those links in the show notes so our listeners can find out more. And yeah, I hope that's been helpful for people who need some help with their selling. Go check Melina out. She's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a delight to chat with you. And yes, I could chat for a long, long time.
Another time.
Another time.
Thank you for listening to Unfrazzle. Sharing is caring, so if you loved this episode, please share it on your socials or head over to Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts and leave me a review. Not only will I be hugely grateful, your ratings and reviews will help others to find this podcast so that even more people can make their ideas happen. Thanks so much, and see you next time.